Hi, what is going on, guys? Today on ZeldaSpeedRuns we have the Link to the Past NMG Tournament 2021 Losers Bracket Round 1 TanwirFarid versus Contos. And today I am accompanied by my wonderful and lovely commentators DowTMB and Twin Mommy. Say hello, guys.
How's it going, everyone?
Hello, hello.
Well, I just had lunch, so I'm ready to go, I think.
Sounds great.
No afternoon sleeps today, Dow.
No, I never can take afternoon naps. It's when I work.
We on the right scene? Is this the right scene? Yeah, it is. Okay, great. Well, in that case, I can start the race. Wonderful.
So yeah, we're gonna be getting started here just a minute or so. Yeah, not much to talk about early. Not really. Like we mentioned, this is losers bracket, so this is win and keep going and lose and your tournament's over. Luckily for everybody, they got to play at least 3 matches so far. And a lot of people seem pretty happy about the group stages, so we'll see. But yeah, the this 4th match here for everybody can be a little bit stressful in these kinds of situations, so we'll just see what happens. Also, their PBs are currently about 3 minutes apart, but just like we saw some discussion in the chat about how hard it is not to die in this game, that never stops. So it's not like a few minutes apart in PBs here means it's the end of the world or anything. Like, it won't be close.
Yeah, for sure. Things always, if it can go wrong, it'll go wrong at some point when you're running, for sure.
And that's true. You know, I was going to plug doing comms after the run today, but hey, we've got a minute here. If you are listening to this right now and you say, wow, that guy sounds like an idiot, I can do that job 10 times better, please come into the Discord and get the commentator role. ZSR has been great, and they've commentated, or they've restreamed more matches than we get commentators for. So if you want to commentate, you'll have matches.
And it's not scary at all. Not at all. Because if you say something wrong, I guarantee you chat will correct you. They're not shy about that.
And the only ones getting yelled at are the restreamers. Commentators are great. Love you. And now have a great stream.
Thanks. So yeah, we can see maybe a little bit of rando brain there. We don't need the maps, believe it or not. We probably don't want to open the map at all in this. Yeah, opening the map loses about 2 seconds. Occasionally you see it, you know, it's just a completely different button on the controller, but sometimes we panic a little and hit all of them. So hey, it happens.
All the buttons. I do that a lot.
Oh, poking the guard there, or poking the sword rather. And yeah, we're seeing just a couple of small strats that you do to save time here and escape. Nothing too serious, too worrisome either. Although I think everybody forgets to charge their sword at least a few times before entering that green guard room.
True. And it always throws you off a little bit. It's because it's not like something you practice. you know.
Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we were going for a bit of an 8/ strat. And ball and chain guard hurts. But we're not dead, so that's good.
Yes. Yeah, we don't want to die already. That would be bad.
But yeah, we can see kind of what tends to happen in this game is that when you execute strats, even moderately well, they don't have to be done optimally or anything. You're going to save a bunch of time over trying a strat and failing it, and then having to do backups. But it's only going to amount to a couple seconds here, so nothing too worrisome.
Yeah, escape is just a small part of this game, and let me see if I can get this right. A sub 8 GT is better than a sub 6 escape.
Also a lot harder. Looks like Tanwir was typing in the race room. Just kind of walked into the wall for a little bit there. But yeah, in general, that's true. A lot of times you'll see, every quality of runner kind of complain, oh no, my early game, my escape, or my next dungeon we're going to do Eastern Palace wasn't very good, but it's just like you lose 3-5 seconds in escape. That's the same 3 or 5 seconds you lose in every other split. But in escape, there's maybe 10 seconds to save, and in GT, there's 2.5 minutes. So it's like, where should you put your practice?
But I have to say, getting that sub 6 escape just feels so good.
Yeah, almost dodged the snake stare. It's tough, really tricky to do when you have kind of that strange pattern from them. An easier one on Contos' side, but good recognition to get past them. Definitely easy to just walk into the room and boomerang them. And then Contos, we do have a manip for that bat, but he went straight to the wall right away, which actually makes the bat move early, which is not what we want. We kind of want it to move in a specific time.
Yeah, I didn't know about that until just recently, and it's helped me not get bodied by that bat as much. So it's even just watching these races and listening to comps has helped my game a lot.
Yeah, the thing about this game more than, probably this is true for a lot of games, but more than any game I can think of is that there's just so much knowledge you need to have to play the game effectively. The fact that you can watch, our 9.5-hour tutorial, right? Like, write down notes on everything of it, the FMG tutorial. Be like, yeah, I understand, right? And then come back to it like 2 weeks later, and you'll be like, oh my god, I missed literally half of the tutorial. And then come back in again in another month, and you're like, I still can't believe I missed the other half of the tutorial.
It's so true. You can watch those tutorial sections like 50 times over and still get stuff out of them.
Yeah, it's just always like one tiny thing that you don't notice, or you're like 1 pixel too high or something, and it affects pretty much everything in the whole run. So
I mean, even if it is just Fricker's funny commentary and the little Easter eggs that they scatter around in those tutorials, there's always something to find.
And here we're on one of the most dangerous screens in the game, and Tanwir gets the hold down RNG, and Contos doesn't. And at least we only lost 1 heart.
Contos is going to be on that red drop real soon. Do you know if these guys go for tree rupees or if they're saw claws?
I do not know. It's a strategy that I'm surprised as many runners do tree rupees as do, essentially. I guess it's like optimal, and you want to do the optimal strats, and it's not that hard. I guess it is, once again, a lot of things you have to learn, but Yeah, the thing is, we harp on like consistency and not messing up more than anything else in this game. And Saha rupees just make it easy to not mess up. So
It's true. Making sure you don't take any damage in between certain tree pulls and everything like that can be a bit daunting, I guess, when you're first starting, for sure.
yeah. So Tom, we're boomerang that magic, which if you have to go out of your way for it, probably doesn't save any time. It saves you 16 frames of magic refill, but it costs 13 frames to throw the boomerang, so it only saves 3 frames, which means if you go out of your way at all, you're not saving time. But yeah, a pretty good skeleton room from both of them. Maybe they went a little bit further left than they needed to, but it's just like that. If it's consistent and it works, who cares if you're losing a little bit of time, right? Just make sure you're saving the big seconds.
Exactly.
Not the small frames.
The booming the magic really only saves time if you get the heart at the same time. Is that correct?
Generally speaking, that's true, but good damages from both of them there. But if you don't have to go out of your way for the magic, it's technically faster. Although, like I said, 3 frames is nothing to write home about, so. And then, given that Contos picked up the red, I'm going to guess that he's going to do tree rupees a little bit later in the run, because if you do Saha rupees, you don't have to pick up any rupees. So, yeah, if you're against the top wall there, you can't grab the pot. I don't know. Thanks, video game. So, yeah, just a touch too high. Couldn't pick up the pot. Got hit by the Igor because of it. That is an unfortunate cannonball pattern. We haven't talked about it too much, but there is a ton of RNG that you have to react to in this game and deal with. That is also an unfortunate cannonball pattern. Oh, okay.
Yeah, getting hit by those double readies hurts a little bit.
Just fired one too many arrows there. It's a little hard. The bow mechanics are not simple. As we've seen from both of our
really
runners
not.
here. Okay. Contos might have not fired enough arrows, and then it kind of messed up this quick kill. It'll be okay. We're not going to lose too much time here. Ooh, with this red Armos. But we're out. Nobody's died. Our arrow count looks fine. Our rupee count, 40 rupees. When did we get that? Hello?
He must have got another red drop in Gifted with Greenies. Not Gifted with Greenies, I'm sorry, Double Readies.
I was so worried about not dying to the Igors that probably just picked up a couple blues on the way. Because when you do mess them up, you do have an opportunity to pick up all the drops, which you wouldn't normally get. Yeah, 40 rupees is a lot.
Yeah, that's quite a bit for this time. Yeah, it looks like they're both doing tree rupees. Tanwir is... I don't know the tree rupee route. Is he going to need to pick up a couple more rupees, or is he looking okay so far?
He has enough rupees at this point, but it would be nice to get at least 2 more rupees, and preferably at least 7 more rupees. It just saves a little bit of time if you have at least 9, and it saves a bit more if you have 14 rupees. But yeah, you don't need any rupees at this point.
Tanwir went with that holy spin speed and did pretty well with it.
Yeah, it's we see it on Contos' side here as well. It's actually like a good bit faster, 30 frames or so, which I know I mentioned we don't worry about frames too much, but as far as strats go, optimally 30 frames on a strat is pretty significant. The downside is that if you miss it, you lose 2 seconds, and it is a frame perfect trick, so it kind of sucks. But a similar time-saving one, they'll have an opportunity to do leaving the back half of desert. Actually saves like a few more frames, but the downside's even more punishing. So
Yeah, Desert 2 spin speed is scary.
Contos with the 1 pixel bonk, perfect.
Thanks, game.
Yeah, 2 versus 3 depends on your strat, Fox. If you go for pickle shot, which nobody should do, and I'm kind of upset that I do it myself, then 2 versus 3 is on the order of like frames. But if you do, I don't know, birdshot might be similar. And if you go for the bush crab on the screen above, 2 versus 3 is actually pretty significant. So it kind of depends on what you're doing there. But yeah, desert, it's like kind of an interesting dungeon to optimize some of the rooms, but at the same time, it has kind of quite a few simple rooms outside of a few challenging ones, like desert cannonballs there. And I didn't hear audio, so I didn't know if that was actually an RNG you could dash through or not. But there are a surprising amount that you can dash all the way through if you get a first frame dash.
That was a nice dash cancel there on
Oh,
Contos' side. Until then. Oof.
I think that dash down would have actually made it through, but it looks scary, so didn't get it. And Tanwir not trying to get any more, or doesn't care to get any more drops, so just picks up the rupee in that pot, which is about as much time as like picking up the 4th, but it also makes the tree rupee screen a little bit easier for not much added difficulty in Circle of Pots there. And I just took a drink of water, so I missed if Tanwir went for speed.
I looked away to talk to my husband. I missed it too.
But yeah, the spin speed in the back here only saves about 40 frames. So generally, for most players, the risk reward is not really there. Because failing it generally means you hop off the ledge and have to redo the front of desert, which is like 40 seconds, which sucks.
So I did see Tanwir go for the newer strat here in this torches room that Contos is in, where the popos at the top don't move. I really like that strat.
Yeah, we could talk about that, but we have one of the most difficult fights in the game right now on Tanwir's side. Not common to die to this boss, but very common to use all of your arrows, which is slow, and also have this go 3 extra cycles because the worms aren't friendly. Just like this third worm for him right now hasn't been too friendly. Should be able to clean it up right here on this last one. Yeah, there we go. Looks like Contos had a okay first cycle, maybe. Yeah, the first cycle is generally a bit more standard, and everyone after that is a lot going on. You kind of have to treat them the same way as the first cycle, but there's just a lot more to pay attention to, a lot more to react to. A lot of knowledge about how best to fire arrows. And we can see that Contos isn't like solely using the bow here because sometimes it is easier to just track them with the sword, keep track of your hits and all that good stuff.
Those short hops can really mess with you too. It looks like he's through. We got Tanwir setting up for fake flippers. And it's good. All right. We got one through.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Contos. If he has a rando background or is just not done many runs, because I'm seeing a lot of movement that looks like somebody who hasn't done overworld screens too much, but has definitely done a lot of dungeon stuff. So a lot of these are really not much slower overall, the way like you approach screens optimally versus kind of making it up on your own or doing what you've seen somebody else do. But it does add up. Okay. There are a lot of overworld screens.
Yes, there's a lot of overworld.
Yeah, for those that don't know, the reason why we were kind of holding our breath there a little bit was because getting hit in that fake flipper state put you back onto the last spot that the game thinks was like a legal spot for Link to be, which is on the other screen, and it doesn't know how to handle that. So bad things happen. And you have to save and quit, which is generally not what we want to do because it's not allowed.
You also have to keep in mind that you cannot push any buttons after they put Link back on the land. Otherwise, you hardlock the game and you cannot save and quit. Right? Did I get that wrong?
That is correct. If you do anything, it will hardlock. If you do nothing except bring up the save and quit menu, all it does is soft lock the game. You can save and quit. It's the only action you can take.
So it looks like the cabbages were not very nice to Tanwir. Looks like Contos got a little bit better cabbage patterns, and so is going to be entering Hera with a little bit more health.
Yeah, and Hera, kind of a finicky dungeon, lots of rooms where it's not your fault you lost a heart. The game just is mean. So entering, on 2-3 hearts, in this case 2.5 is the same as 3. The half heart doesn't matter in Hera. Can be rough sometimes.
Chex, you might have to show me that one sometime because I have never heard of that.
And there's the rooms being mean. The Moldorm was guarding the Switch, so wanted to play it a bit safe, and then in doing so kind of gave the other Moldorms time to be in bad places too. What a dungeon.
Bad Moldorms. Don't do that.
Alright, going for an ACM strat here in Beatles. Mentioned you can do strats however long you like. It was a strat I got yelled at forever for doing, but I did all the way up to 124. So just do whatever you feel like. Okay, that's not good. Alright. We're gonna see a hover here. Oh, okay. Scary part about the hover is you kind of have to avoid this spark. That's why Tanwir's running around the chest. Because if you just try to go, it will put you off. Oh no!
Oh. No. Well, at least it's in Beetles. And he's not up in like Petting Zoo or Moldorm.
Yes, small victories for when Hera decides to be brutal. Beetles is a very challenging room, which is why, yeah, we can see going for a bit of a more difficult strat here, which, yeah, sometimes it is just about doing the strat correctly and not about doing the fast strat to get through a room. But Beetles are also just like, there's a lot to pay attention to in that room. It's surprisingly challenging. Yeah, Tanwir clears up Moldorm here. You saw him kind of dash. Oh no. Moldorms suck. Big ones, small ones. They're all the worst.
They're all bad. Exactly. Just the worst.
But yeah, you saw. Okay. Yep, and the pots are impossible to pick up because video games. But yeah, Tanwir dashed through Moldorm, and it looked like he actually hit him. But Moldorm is not actually vulnerable for a little bit until after he starts moving. So need to just hold off on dashing through maybe 10 or so more frames. Not very much, but it's just something you need to get a feel for. Okay, nice bomb jump there. And yeah, we talked about tree rupees earlier. Tanwir is actually short on rupees. He's going to need 2 more at some point. There are a couple of opportunities in Aghanim's Tower, but they're kind of rough.
Yeah, I always just count on the ones from Circle of Pots there.
This is just classic Hera, honestly. That's all. I mean...
Yeah, sometimes that bumper skip can be a bit finicky. Honestly, if I fail it once, I'll just go around because I'm like, I'm done. So it looks like he decided to do that same thing. And
I think that is what he tried to do the last time, but probably just when you're holding diagonals and you start a dash, you kind of, there's a little bit more going on. So it probably dashed in the incorrect direction for him. Okay. Yeah. Spins in this Moldorm fight are dangerous because he's going to get charged in a second here. Oh, how?
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Sure. You know what? It counts.
We're just gonna go with it and say Moldorm was kind-ish on that.
Oh, okay, you can see Tanwir kind of adjusted that dash. You might think, oh, why didn't he just continue to dash up? Well, if you're not all the way against the left wall there, you can get hit out of your dash, which is annoying. So he decided to just kind of readjust there. In particular, now that we have the Master Sword and you're on full hearts, you have sword beams, which are not the most helpful, but they are very nice in this dungeon for the most part. So we do want to keep them if we can.
Yeah, they're really nice for a couple of strats in here. Most importantly, this next room with the fairy skip.
Yeah.
Trying to preserve that fairy for Turtle Rock when we really need it.
And I guess I'll notice next time Tanwir opens his menu. I didn't see if we got the mushroom or not. I was a little focused on the Moldorm fight.
I think someone in chat mentioned that he skipped the mushroom, so chat did not get it.
All right, so then in that case, getting the fairy skip is very important. We do see Contos pick up the mushroom there. Mushroom is one of the best safeties in the game, whether you turn it into the powder or whether you just keep it as the mushroom. It'll give us plenty of opportunities to refill our health later in the game. Importantly, right before a couple of tough boss fights, the Vitreous boss fight in Misery Mire, and the Ganon fight at the end of the game. Both of those are very nice. So, additionally, Trinex, although Trinex is a bit safer than those two, so the bigger concern often is running out of magic in that fight.
Tanwir did pick up that pot with the 5 rupees in Dark Room of Melancholy.
Tanwir, get the pot. You don't have enough rupees. Thank you. Okay, good. You remembered.
These runners are determined to cause some high blood pressure today.
So yeah, we do need 110 rupees because we need to pay 100 rupees for a guy to open a door for us, and we also got to pay a 10 rupee service fee just for him showing up. Dude, come on, game. Really? Just make it 100. Okay, and I mentioned you can get poked out of that dash if you're not against the wall. Yeah, we didn't hear. You get lucky sometimes, or you get unlucky. I don't know, whichever way you want to treat it. Yeah, and now we're seeing Aghanim.
I've only seen one blue ball, but I was watching Contos, so I may have missed some.
Well, I think there's 2.
Contos also getting that fairy skip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Aghanim is just so much fun, especially after when you just finished Tower of Hera, which is, I don't know, to me it feels like really the optimal gaming experience, right? Things are totally out of your control. You get owned some of the time. Yeah, it's very fun. And we have more of that here. It's great.
Just fantastic to get here on pace, and then to have Aga give you like 5 or 6 blue balls and just ruin your life for the next hour.
Yeah, so on Tanwir's side, we only had 3, which I say only. This is the kind of average amount or the expected amount there. Another knowledge thing here. On Contos' side, he had sword beams in that dark room with the key. If you have sword beams and you touch the bottom wall, the archer's going to hit you 100% of the time. If you don't touch the bottom wall, you'll be fine. Okay. Man, Circle of Pots. If you do it a little bit slow and that other guard catches you, it's really not fun.
Yeah. There's a lot of rooms like that in this game where if you do just a little bit slow, things just don't go your way.
Oh, and really nicely done by Contos there. Most people don't know, but if you dash onto those stairs leading up to Aghanim, you get stair drag. Because reasons. I don't know why. So he actually canceled his dash just before getting onto the stairs and didn't have the stair drag after. Nicely done. So yeah, Contos Aghanim fight here. Like I said, 3 blue balls is average. We really do want to see less than that to even up the match a little bit more, but also because 1 or 2 is actually pretty significant time save over 3. Okay. Contos is standing a little bit low. You want to stand directly horizontal to Aghanim. Yeah, it could be something like that, Fox. Oh, okay.
Oof.
Tom, we are remembering wants this key. There is a strat where you get kind of the bridge key first and then come back down and make a loop through the dungeon. The reason why we don't do that is because this route gets us more bombs, and we want all of the bombs basically for the rest of the run here. So
I only counted 3 blue balls on Contos' side, but I may have missed one.
I believe that's correct.
Also, I can't really blame Tanwir for trying to go the wrong direction. We do go through the first few rooms of this dungeon so many times. It's easy to get confused on exactly which one you're going through and try to go the wrong direction. Completely understandable.
Oh, okay. Good job canceling that dash, otherwise you fall off. You lose health. Very fun. Ooh. Oh, seeing another hover here. This one's a bit tricky because you have to kind of, get clipped into the rail from a different side, and then
He didn't pick
you
up the
do need a key, Tanwir.
Yeah, he didn't pick up that key. Whoopsie doodle.
Maybe he's gonna hover to this key on the bridge. It looks like it. Pulling out bombs here. Look, if you're really consistent with your hovers, this is a faster key anyway, so it makes sense. But it's not easy. Yeah, we see there. And of course, failing a hover is kind of punishing. And you see he has to get clipped into the rail again. Get bit there. I don't know if that was enough. I'm actually not too familiar with this hover key, so...
Yeah, I have to say, I've only seen this in Rando, and I think I've only seen Doom Tap do it one time. So yeah, I'm not familiar with this at all.
Yeah, so you do have to get clipped in... Oh, there we go. Yeah, to get clipped in a bit to the rail there. And then when Link clips into objects, things get a little bit weird. Yeah, so... we allow rail clips over pits, and that's about the only clipping we allow, just because we think it's more fun. And that's pretty much the reason why. And then, when you hit the switch in the room before, it's just like a lot of things to pay attention to when you're doing, not the standard strat. Everything's a little bit different. Technically, the Meyer hover after Big Key is like a second faster, but you also have to sword out or else you grab the rail. So it's stupid. Don't get hit. Luckily, we don't lose the time for having beams anymore, but we do have less... We can take one fewer hit against Moldorm here. I'm surprised that was a key dash on Contos' side. Which we haven't really talked about key dashes very much, or at all. Nice bomb jump.
Yeah, it was... I don't see the sword out buffers like that very often. That was really nice. Nicely done.
Alright, so we are seeing... Could have gone for a hit there, but playing it safe. Definitely good to play safe in this fight, because when you get hit a lot. And you can only take 2.
Ooh, he's through on that one. Good.
Ooh. Yeah, definitely one of the both more punishing and more frustrating bosses. Dying there is pretty significant time loss. Also, pretty easy to die there. So glad to see we got out of that fight.
Yeah, many a run ends at Helma, for sure.
Yeah, and then we can definitely see on Contos' side how much easier the kind of standard strat is. Yeah, so press right in the door there. That door is a little bit strange. So a lot of doors, if you hold if you hold perpendicular to the door, you'll get out of, but that one you don't. So just held right a little bit early in the door there. Didn't come out of the doorway, which then put the red mimic directly above him. So when he tried to walk out, it shot down.
Auto doors are weird, and that one being the back half of the auto door. It's just it acts weird. I've been working on the pod mimics, and so I did notice some weirdness there for sure.
And yeah, there's like 9 different types of doors in this game. Getting hit by the bird there. A little bit of a turtle party here. Please. Okay. Alright, down to 4 hearts. Really not where you want to be. We can only take 1 hit from Helmslor King. And we kind of saw on Tanwir's side, he took 2 back-to-back hits. Like, when you get hit once, you usually get hit twice. So hopefully this fight goes nice and easy. Was that a fairy in that bush?
It was a bush fairy that he picked up. Kind of a nice little surprise there.
Bushes are kind of cool in that they all have their own set of drops. I don't know which bushes have what. Okay, we're through the Helmslor fight.
Got a
Good stuff.
favorable pattern there from Helma. Only, 1 set of fireballs?
Yeah, it was nice. 4 digs on Tanwir's side. Believe it or not, the flute is always in the same spot, but unfortunately that mirror portal was right where he wanted it to be, so he was trying to avoid the warp portal while digging up the spot. Yeah, it can be a little bit tricky if you miss the first one.
Okay, so I'm a little confused. How much do good crystal catches save over the course of a run?
Less than a second.
Okay, so it's not as big a deal as I kind of made it out to be in my head.
No, but much like anything else in this game, if you do it right, it feels good. And half the game is, mental state. So, but yeah, if you don't put any effort into catching the crystals and you get kind of an average crystal catch versus an optimal one, saves like 8 frames over the average catch. There's only 7, so it's like around a second if you put no effort in versus, learning everything about it. So yeah, not a big deal. And a lot of times, knowing which bushes have fairies is more important anyway. Like on Tanwir's side, got hit by the bird, got the fairy back. Okay. Yeah. That particular red Zazik on Tanwir's side, pretty mean. If it walks straight down and then straight left, and you don't cancel your dash early, it will hit you. So his dash was like just a touch too far right, so we ended up getting hit. Alternatively, you can walk down if you see that your dash has gone too far, and you won't get hit by the bunny beam, which is the real reason why it's punishing. The 2 hearts, of course, hurts, but then you lose a bunch of time to not being able to dash when you get bunnied. Oh no, the arrows! Wow, that is not friendly at all. Hello? What's going on in the video game? Oh, that looks like another tried to diagonal with that dash, and it kind of turns you sometimes to bonk there. So because we're getting bottle and net here, we are going to turn this mushroom into powder, which will turn the bunny beams as well as anti-fairies into fairies, which we can either take just for the health or bottle them up in case we die for bosses. Yeah, 2.5 hearts on Tanwir's side is kind of scary, but all we got to do is make it to the prison and we'll get a couple more hearts. We'll be okay. And we're also getting ether here, so yeah, we're gonna see kind of a pretty big split in what the runners do. I don't know where Tanwir plans on getting ether and ice rod. And yeah, there's spin speed for you. Mess it up a little bit, and Death Mountain will be the most punishing screen on the game. Just can't get off the ladder. But the choice of where you get the ether medallion and the ice rod is 100% up to the player. It's like less than 20 frames versus like totally optimal versus just normally doing it. And yeah, so just whatever's comfortable. This is a pretty safe split to do it in. We're going to get both here because when you turn in the magic powder, or turn in the mushroom to get the magic powder, you have an opportunity for a free health refill, which we're probably going to take. Why do crabs do 2 hearts? This is the great mysteries of the universe. And yeah, the major difference is menuing. Of course, I mentioned average crystal catches. You can't let them break. Tanwir, that poor maiden is dead forever because crystal's in pieces now. And did I talk about the menuing? Menuing in this game sucks. So you do it whenever or whatever feels good to you, basically. A lot of times, menuing's basically muscle memory. You always do the same menu, so you always do the same things. Bombs can affect kind of your menu situation a little bit. So paying attention to your bomb count's also a big part of it. But yeah, we're in the mid-game here. Mid-game is very challenging to do fast, but I'd like to hear some opinions on what people think is kind of the most difficult split. In terms of like dying or like not losing 20 years. Ice is a good one. Pod's a good one. TR, we've got so many options here. Swamp. I respect the swamp pick. GT's makes a lot of sense. Exactly. All of the Dark World, except apparently Thieves Town or Skull. Oh. Recognized that he was gonna bonk, but that gave him the bunny beam time to catch up. Man, it's so punishing when you're off just a little bit. Yeah, all of the Dark World. That's what it boils down to. So yeah, good bit of well, there is about a minute and a half of oh come on, game. You should have been able to dash through that. Man, always. What a room. In terms of underrated difficulty, here we go, mummies. Are they going to behave? Yes, probably. Is that too far to the left? Oh no, that's the last good pixel. Okay. Oh, look at this guy blocking the way. Oh, what a great 2 rooms. Yeah, you can dash through the ropas kind of safely, but choosing to slash, definitely a good choice here. You're going to see another hover. This one is, okay, you saw him kind of adjust to the left there because of the mini Moldorm. That's probably one of the things that makes that one of the most dangerous ones, is because you kind of just have to wait for the mini Moldorm to get out of your way. Or try to avoid it. Sword out hover it. Look, the way most people hover, sword out hovers are awful. Now, when it goes well, you will have more health for the back here, which usually not a problem. We tend to kind of do these rooms quick enough that nothing happens, but mess up anything and you're losing 4 hearts. So, and you do want to be missing a little bit of health actually, because especially if you go for the slash strats on this mummy, which you see right there, the sword beams affect it pretty significantly. Okay. I was a little bit nervous on oh, excellent moth fight. I was a little bit nervous on Contos' side. I thought blind was a little bit too far left and would have started going to the right. Yeah, that's the moth fight for you. Sometimes it's over in an instant, sometimes it's 2 minutes long. I mentioned Aghanim was the fun part of this video game. I don't know, crystal cutscenes are pretty fun too, right? Look at all this exciting gameplay we have in front of us.
Can you hear me, Dow?
I can't.
Hooray! My internet messed up, and so I was lost for a while.
Oh, okay. Didn't take damage from that bomb. All right, were you able to see what was happening at least? Do we need to...
Yeah, so Tanwir have a scary attic, and Contos made it through Thieves Town as well. So, and a nice moth fight apparently from Tanwir as well.
All right, well, Tanwir called the bird when he didn't mean to. I had to avoid it a bit there. I didn't hear if he called the bird again, so that affects the arc variable, not the arc variable, the altitude variable, and could make the first room in Ice Palace annoying. That doesn't mess it up. I thought I gave a different... I thought the altitude... Maybe it's only when the bird picks you up. No. Well, I don't know how it works exactly. And here we're seeing the mirror and door strat, which is kind of an older strat. Most people choose not to do it because... Did we mirror before getting Quake? No, dude! Some people choose not to do it because picking up these rocks really sucks. So... They're, like, almost the same time optimally. Do whatever you're more comfortable with.
Alright, we got Quake this time. So let's go get some finger webs.
And Zora's Domain, just showing off. You jump in the water once, you're jumping in 8 times. You're already wet at that point, right? What does it matter anymore? That Ropa hit Contos? Hello, video game?
I'm telling you, sometimes this game just does not want you to win at all.
It really doesn't. Alright, and we're seeing some boom... No! Oh, okay. Almost got grabbed by the hand.
I really like the boom strats. Although learning the faster mummy statue room is stressful, it's nice to know you have the boomerang there to back that up when it does go wrong.
Yeah. And if you get ether early, you can use ether, and instead of freezing them, it just destroys them. So that's an option too.
Then you have to worry about magic in the back half, and that's always stressful.
Yeah. But they can drop full magic, so pray for that.
I mean, those mummies are in the magic prize pack, so there's always that possibility.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so here, we do like beams here for Ice 2, because you can kind of hit the berries from far away without them electrifying and hitting you like that. Ice mechanics are weird, so sometimes you get a lot closer than you think. We'll still have beams for conveyor room coming up in a bit here, which is the real-time save. Contos showing what you don't menu over bottles. Just pops up a second menu that you can only get out of by pressing left or right.
Just what this game needs is more menus. It's what everybody wants.
We're also showing off if you try to diagonal past that edge in Ice Palace, because corners are weird, you just kind of walk into it. Hello?
Contos is having a little bit of trouble here. I don't know if this is his regular strat or if he's worried about magic. But yeah.
Okay, and getting the full heal there.
Gotcha. That makes this room a little bit more difficult. But he made it through. So, and looks like Tanwir had a great either hover or bomb jump. I don't know. He does both.
That counted as 2 hits, and there's one more. Oh, come on, Moth. Behave, cooperate. There we go. Good fight. Moth was hanging out a little bit too close to the bottom spikes for a bit there to have the fight be fantastic, but got through without dying, without losing too much time, so gotta be happy with that.
Lonely Fire Bar is one of the most annoying rooms to do quickly in Ice Palace.
Yeah, I'll agree. It's got like 46 different inputs you gotta do, because why wouldn't it? To just kind of walk across a room.
With ice and a giant rotating fire bar and some hidden spikes in the staircase.
Oh, we're seeing the poke dash strat almost executed excellently. Just maybe I didn't see exactly. Probably I'd have to watch it again. But the spin missed 2 of the puffs there. Not a big deal. Easy cleanup with 2 more slashes at the end there.
Most importantly, he didn't die. Dying on Cold Stare is just brutal because you have no magic. And so you have to go find magic or do Swamp Palace at lower hearts.
Yeah, in a race setting, definitely the safe approach is to just do the Swamp Palace, because you're still making progress towards beating the game. If you're just kind of playing through and you don't want to mess up your splits, yeah, you're going to search for magic instead. Oh,
I was just gonna say, Contos got past the Ropa lottos, only to get hit by that little Dark World Octo Rock thingy. I don't even know what those ones are called.
Dark World Octos? I don't know.
All right, well, at least I'm not the only one who doesn't know what all the enemies are called.
Just a little too low to pick up the Quake there, because things have height in this game, despite being a 2-dimensional game, so it kind of bounced over his head.
I would have maybe picked up that rock for that 50-50 chance for a heart drop, just so you're not possibly going into ice with down 1 heart.
Yeah, makes sense. Can also pick it up on the way out if you'd like, and have a chance to kill some of the crabs as well, which also can drop a heart. But also maybe Contos is like, look, I've got powder. We're probably gonna powder before Cold Stare if anything else goes wrong this split. So as long as we manage our magic correctly, we'll be okay in terms of health.
Yeah. Chat coming up with some great names for those enemies, the Dark World Octo Rocks. I thought the stun prize was a single rupee. Yeah.
That crab was inside of Tanwir. And we get the chest turn. Oh, Conto is showing that swimming is impossible, especially around the whirlpool, which moves you. It actually moves you.
Yeah, those whirlpools are just not nice. I thought whirlpools were supposed to suck you in, not shoo you away.
Well, they kind of work they actually do swirl you around. They're supposed to, but they do throw you out, which I guess they're not supposed to, but... Yeah, this game is got a lot of fun stuff that happens sometimes.
Yeah, fun. Uh-huh. Exactly what I'd call it. No, this game is a lot of fun to play. If you don't play this game, if you've never played this game, this is one I can always recommend. Either casually or as a speedrun. I've really, really enjoyed learning this as a speedrun. Not to say it's not hard, because oh my gosh, is it hard to learn? But it's a lot of fun. It really is.
Okay, so Contos was going for a single bomb strat there, and then the room didn't cooperate and needed to go with the double bomb strat. Yeah. And probably was going for single bomb in order to preserve bombs. Does have 4, so you think, well, that's enough. All it takes is 1 or 2 mistakes, and then your bomb count looks really iffy. And your health gets low, too. So always want to be a bit careful here.
Yeah, this bomb jump can be tricky at the best of times.
I think that's too high.
Yeah, I think that was just a little bit too high for that first pixel.
First pixel you can be against the wall. I think this is good. This looks fine.
Yeah. Well, there's like the 2 pixels that work on when you're placing the bomb, and then you've got to adjust your movement down based on which pixels you're on, right? At least that's the way I learned it.
Something like that. There's a diagram out there of what works.
Wrong.
There's like more pixels that work than you think, but it's not like a rectangle. The pixels are associated with each other.
Yeah. Tanwir forgetting to pick up the big key before going for the hook shot. Again, one of these dungeons where you have to go through the same room multiple times. It's easy to get confused. I mean, I think everybody's done that at least once.
So yeah, we saw magic powder helping us out a lot here. Back to full health, which will, and we still have a bottled fairy. You know, we're in great shape here. Colster, definitely one of the scariest bosses. On Tanwir's side, we didn't really see too much go wrong. But yeah, Colster does 4 hearts. Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, that hurts. Even with a fairy,
So
it's a mental game after this, for sure.
Good thing about the fairy, we get iframes, so you can kind of just go right at Cold Stare for a little bit here. Now they've run out, so we got to play a touch safer. Okay, good. There we go. Ooh.
All right. Phew.
Yeah, Cold Stare. When people mentioned Ice as being one of the toughest dungeons earlier, that's a big reason why.
I think that's my biggest reason why I don't like Ice Palace is Cold Stare. Yeah, can just, like, there's no strat where you don't, it's not a scary fight. Does that make sense? Like, every strat, even though some of them are more consistent than others, it's still a scary fight.
Yeah. What Contos is going for there was a variation of the 6/ strat, which is the least consistent strat, but also the simplest to do. The other 2 common strats, either single poke dash or double poke dash, are both more consistent and faster, but also impossible. And you're gonna mess them up. So definitely not an easy fight. Tanwir arrow count actually looking a bit low here, unless he's going to opt for the 10 arrow chest in Ganon's Tower, which is kind of the fastest arrows in the game, but hard to do quickly.
Yeah, don't you want at least 18 coming out of Swamp?
16 is the minimum I would ever say you should come out of Swamp with. Ideally, you want at least 21, so we can skip another arrow pot later. But 16 is like the absolute minimum, where I would say you can at least get through the game at this point.
You know, one of these days I'll learn arrow counts and routes and everything. One of these days. Just add it to the list of things that you need to know for this game. But it's fun. Everybody should run it.
I mean, really, the strat for bomb and arrow count is pick them all up until you don't need them anymore.
I like that strat. I like that strat a lot.
And if you've got extras, yeah, that's fine. Better to have extras than too few, right?
You can always drop your extra bombs in GT if you're comfortable with that.
Yep, we're getting that bottle menu again. It pulls up the menu. You gotta really work to get out of it. Fun stuff.
So Tanwir's going to set up Spooky here on this screen. Looks like some funny movement picking up that rock, but we're actually setting the altitude variable for the fire rod, so we can do some spooky stuff in the basement of Mire, which is really fun to do once you learn how to do it.
And also importantly there, you can't warp if Link has iframes, and you get iframes after the bird set you down, so we're waiting to get in the portal anyway. So it's not like we're losing time setting this up here.
It's a win-win.
Contos is mostly just a bit behind because took an extra 40 or so seconds to get the magic powder. Well, I guess maybe 45, including the pickup of the mushroom. And then has just had a little bit more difficulty with some of the rooms and especially some of the bosses. So, oh, and I forgot Hera happened. That's right.
Yeah. You know, when you have a Hera like that, you kind of try to forget that it happened. And you get to the end and you're like, what happened? And you're like, oh, yeah, it was Hera.
Okay, choosing to walk in that room on Tanwir's side, it's slower, but it lets you react to the slug pretty easily. And main goal in Mire here is to not lose too much health before the boss, or just in general. We're going to pick up a key that's going to cost us 3 hearts, and then we're going to take at least 4, but maybe 5 or 6 hearts of damage against the boss. So we really do want to get there with as much health as we can.
Contos showing off with those hammer dashes. Not sure how I feel about that. I'm not a big hammer dash in Swamp fan. Or in general, to truth be told.
Those particular hammer dashes are faster.
Shh. I'm gonna let people know that.
But you gotta press 2 buttons at the same time, which is forbidden tech. It's actually impossible. As we see, missing the hook dash in this room, which makes picking up the pot from beneath the statue impossible.
Much more difficult, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna go for a bit of a, well, I don't even know if this key is faster if you hover, but at this point, if you're gonna hover everything, you should actually hover everything, right? Or I guess you don't need the key, because doors, how do they work?
Oh, yeah, I was like really confused. Like, why is he getting bridge key? But he's hovering everything. So, all right. Try next hover coming up next on Tanwir's side. Which, I mean, if I could hover, I might show off a little bit too, but I can't hover.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of hovers on Tanwir's side. Most of them you can replace with bomb jumps, and it's not, well, it's like technically slower to bomb jump, but your hovers have to be immaculate for them to save time. Messed up Spooky just a bit there. Didn't see what exactly happened. But yeah, we'll have plenty of health for Victorious here, which is what we really want. So that'll be good.
Contos had a nice one cycle Argus there. Seemed to clean it up really nicely there.
Zero cycle Argus is maybe the hardest trick in the game. Especially for how much time it saves. 6 to 8 seconds. Yeah, so we're going to intentionally walk through the goop on the ground here, which does 1 heart of damage, which is safer because the eyeballs do 4. That's only 7 arrows? Oh, okay.
The eyeballs do insane amount of damage for little bitty eyeballs.
What
are they going to do, blink at you?
The big eyeball also does 4 damage, and we avoided dying there by same strat, walking in the goop, taking 1 heart instead of 4.
Not scary at all.
He attempted Spooky, but it didn't work out, and I missed exactly what caused the issue there. Thought so telling us that probably just missed the anti-fairy, but yeah, not sure myself.
So it looks like Contos is not going for Spooky. He didn't set up the warp to do so. So no Spookies today.
And that's pretty reasonable. As far as strats go, it is one of the bigger time-saving strats, about 10 to 12 seconds. 12 is probably on the high side, but something like that. But it is, you have to have a good bit of knowledge to know how to set it up and approach it. So sometimes just the added stress of that is not worth it.
But again, it's one of those things that once you do learn, it's just so much fun to do. You know?
And that is true if you're going to use the powder. Then that will mess up Spooky. Hopefully we're not planning on using powder early because that would mean disaster strikes. And we can save it till after Spooky setup here, but we'll see what is going to happen. Oh no, powder uses the altitude variable. So all items that I can think of that use the altitude variable are like the powder, both boomerangs, the flute, and like although we use the fire rod and it kind of like uses the altitude variable, bombs do as well. Lamp, Cane of Samaria, yeah. Although like the fire rod uses the altitude variable, it doesn't set the altitude variable, which all of the others do, which is the important thing here. And we don't want to touch that variable to set up Spooky, because it's having the fire rod use that variable to hit a crystal switch that's roughly a full screen away twice. And if you ever overwrite that variable to something different, it won't work. Taking a bonk in that room. Smartly moving a bit more to avoid the whiz rope shots. Okay, I'm gonna mirror out here. Now, Tanwir does have the fairy still coming to him in the drop, so he could have opted to damage boost past, which is a little bit faster. But, okay, yeah. If we're getting this fairy here, especially to bottle it, it makes sense that we're not going to go for Spooky.
The spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's definitely easier to get than the other one, so makes a lot of sense. Let's see if
Not
Chomp's
full heart
been...
for Chomps.
Oh, okay. Got a nice aggro from the left Chomp, and then the right one decided to just stand right in front of the chest.
Heckin' Chomps, man.
Nobody should do AD Spooky. It's awful. Oh, boy. Oh, go ahead.
Throwing the block into the pit, and then you have to do like a fire rod dash up the side, and it looks incredibly difficult.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, no thank you.
Okay, so if you take damage, you can get unbunnied. But you don't want to touch those floating skulls, because they do 4 hearts. Yeah, thanks, game. Everything hurts, is what it boils down to.
Especially in TR, because the game intends you to have at least blue mail here. And so blue mail, of course, lessens your damage. But blue mail is slow to get, because it's in Ice Palace, and we don't want to take any more time in Ice Palace than we need to.
Well, it's also like 3 minutes out of our way. Getting the 8-bomb drop. Would really like the 10 arrows, but I guess we need 8 bombs in case we mess up the 1 bomb we're going to use 9 times.
I think he was going for the heart, but he just picked up the bombs instead, because he kind of angled back up that way. But I think he missed the heart and got the bombs instead.
Okay, well, Contos took a hit, smartly realizing here that if you spin the big eye, which happens if you miss the 0 cycle and you'll spin the big eye, you have to fire 1 fewer arrow for each time you hit him, and spun him twice there. So only needed to arrow 6 times instead of 8.
So he's looking really good on arrows right now. Tanwir, he has to be going for the 10 arrow chest just before Ice Armos, because he's still sitting at 12.
There are, well, there's one other arrow pot of 5 arrows. We're going to want 18 arrows is what we're kind of the magic number we're looking for. That's not too slow to get, and doesn't like affect the room too much, which is a big thing we're looking for. Okay, we're just showing off now the sword out hover, which is faster because you move more pixels at a time. But also much harder because you have to hold a button while you hover here. This is not faster.
Joking. I was joking about the Trinex hover.
So on the one hand here, Tanwir is a bit behind his splits to the point where he's unlikely to PB. And we've seen him in chat a bit, so he's probably watching the restream, so he's got a good idea of his lead. Sometimes you just gotta have fun with the game.
I mean, yeah, if it brings him joy to do the Trinex hover and make all of us laugh a little bit, more power to him.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Oh, that's why I don't do the hammer spin speed thingy on this little platform. You yeet yourself off if you get too close.
Yeah, so normally, in addition to the super speed state being more difficult to control, you also have to be more careful. It's, yeah, kind of a challenge sometimes. What if the arrows did light the torches? Like this was Ocarina of Time or something. We had fire arrows.
That would be fun. Would that make Ice Armos better?
Would they melt? I hope so.
I don't know. It'd be nice if they would.
But yeah, here we're off to GT. Did see a couple people mention that GT was the hardest dungeon in the game. Generally speaking, it's not hard because you're gonna die. Although, yeah, we've died here occasionally. It's hard because doing rooms fast is actually impossible. And there's RNG in most rooms. None quite as bad as Chomps here, which are being mean. But there's a lot you got to pay attention to and react to in GT.
I wasn't looking. Did Contos get his... I'm assuming by the health that he may have gotten the fairy drop from that Pokey before Chomps?
I think so. On Contos' side, I wasn't paying too much attention because it matters less here. We're going to be able to powder the anti-fairy. Oh, this room is like... It looks like it's easy, but it's not. Just stand in the right place and press the right buttons. Oh, nice Samaria block there.
That was a Pokey's one from Contos, too.
Yeah. It is easy to do with Samaria, but because of magic limitations in this dungeon and because of like an extra menu there, we try not to do it, basically. Oh, that is the wrong item.
Oopsie doodle.
Seeing another hover there. Short hovers like that are generally good because you don't have to, you know, switch to hookshot or switch to the bomb there. But can be hard to do under pressure. We're going to have a Poke War Zone here. All right.
Don't poke the Pokies.
Yeah, it was sword beams there.
Me every time.
Poke health is super weird. Basically, as soon as they lose one of their Pokeballs, they have infinite health. Okay, Tanwir thought about doing the normal strat and realized needed the arrows. We will have an opportunity to pick up a bomb later in the dungeon, so we do actually need one more here. Not going to be a big deal, but going to be a little bit odd. And we'll have to remember, getting a little bit off cycle here with... And we're glad we got the 10 arrow chests. We have enough to clean up kind of the small mistake there. Oh, and Contos' health looking not very good here. I mentioned this dungeon hurts. The laser in this upcoming room does 4 hearts of damage. Might see a safety door
catch another
here.
Fairy?
I don't think so. I think all the fairies have been
either.
scooped
He
up.
might take the safety door.
Oh yeah, switching to bombs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I thought, you know, the knockback from hitting the beetle was going to push him into the bomb explosion. Oh, we do have a fairy. Okay, okay. Still, safety door. Probably a
Did not
good
see
call.
him catch that.
Oh, did we clip one of the mimics and I missed it? Darn it.
I missed it. I missed it too. I was watching Contos.
Yeah, the mimic clip is faster. Actually, like, pretty significantly so. But it requires a 1 frame input. Fun stuff. 1 frame at 60 FPS, very tough to do consistently.
heading into Gauntlet, these rooms are just some of the worst rooms in the game. The conveyors, the ice physics, the BMOS, just everything conspiring against you.
Zazek's running away.
Yeah. Just trying to kill you as fast as possible. And it's so easy to take so much health loss in these 5 rooms. It's kind of demoralizing sometimes.
Definitely. Especially... Okay. This makes the magic situation a little bit awkward. Yeah, gonna try to do a few slashes here. We'll be able to do either a spin and a slash or a spin and a fire rod here to clean up this last one. All right, and we're kind of through the scary rooms in Ganon's Tower. But sometimes you get poked here and pushed off the bridge, and then lasered. Sometimes
you can go too fast in some of the rooms and despawn all the sprites, which is not fun.
Sometimes you get pushed off that bridge. Sometimes you get hit by the Wizard, which Tanwir was pixels away from having happen. So despite being, less scary, bad stuff still happens. Opting to get the heart there. Probably a good call. You saw the screen stop and we got the little jingle. We're trying to avoid walking into the stairs when that happens. Otherwise it kind of doesn't let you finish the dungeon. We did get a bomb, so that's good. We're going to use our last bomb here and blow up this wall. Oh, taking a hit on the spike. And I'm probably going to see one last hover here. Going to need Moldorm to cooperate a little bit. Or not.
When does Moldorm cooperate? That's what I want to know.
Excellent question. And there it is. The last hover of the game. That one, like I mentioned before, saves time mostly because of menu. Actually, the next item we want to use is the fire rod, so it kind of saves 2 menus, which is really good. Yeah, and it did look like he was going for an even faster hover where you clip the rail, but it's not easy. Excellent pattern there to get 3. We're 2 hits away from defeating this boss. Oh, that was so close. Oh. Alright, luckily here, this is the 5th cycle, so Agnum's guaranteed to shoot an energy ball. Just stand right next to him, give him the good old spin. That'll clean up the fight. When Contos accidentally taking the warp there, there's a few pixels where you can kind of bonk over that warp. Otherwise, you got to take 2. It's like an 8-second time loss. It's pretty not fun.
There are arrows in that pot right by the warp, so if you do find yourself a little bit low on arrows and you accidentally take that, you can always grab those. Makes it feel a little less bad that you had to do it, but...
Yeah, a little less bad.
Just a little. I mean, it's not a lot.
On to the Ganon fight here, and we're already past the first phase, 12 hits. Oh! This is kind of scary. If you're watching Tanwir's stream, his cat is currently on top of his controller in the middle of dodging these fire bats. Oh no!
Yeah. That's some next level gaming to be able to do that.
Alright, we're past the second phase here. He was playing really careful because on 2.5 hearts, Ganon's fire does, or the fire bats do 4 hearts and would have killed him. Now they only do 2 hearts, so sure. We're totally fine now. One last trick to get through, and that's going to be the torch glitch. And silverless spins here. How did that spin miss? I don't get this video game sometimes. But we've got the left torch glitch there, which will make sure the right one never goes out. And we're going to need to spin Ganon 12 times. We've already done 4? We're going to try to get triples on each torch lighting here, 3 spins each time. But can be tough to get 3 on every torch lighting. So at the very minimum, we want to get 2 to make sure we don't run out of magic here. Contos moving into the gauntlet as well. There we go. GG's to Tanwir. Nicely done.
GG, Tanwir. So Contos had some really good mimics rooms. I know they can be very difficult to handle. Those blue Zizix giving him a bit of a trouble. But these red ones cooperating quite nicely for him.
My health looking a little low. There will be an anti-fairy, or a bunny beam rather, that we can powder in this next room to get a bit of a refill. It will kind of mess up the Lammo cycles in this next room here, so just got to be aware of that. It does put the magic a little bit lower than we'd prefer, but... opting not to use the fire rod here, which... yeah, you can see the cycles kind of add up here, but if you're not comfortable with using the fire rod in this fight, it can be a bit of a challenge.
Welcome, Tanwir.
Hi.
Yeah, nice run. Any highlights you want to talk about? I see a gold Skull Woods, and I think I also saw gold Agate Tower. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, definitely. I felt quite good about, let's say rather good about those 2 splits. Agate Tower was very good for my level of skill, I think, or at least for compared to my own runs. Especially now that I've kind of got the 3 rupees kind of consistent. Like, I haven't messed them up in a couple of runs, which is nice. And I think I will be able to go that a little more in the future too, because now I can actually focus on other parts of that split.
Yep.
Yeah. Apart from that, it wasn't like the cleanest run. I had quite bad splits for whatever reason. My timer just started a couple of seconds early. Like, of course, I just started my own game with the race time GG countdown, but the integration was kind of off right there. Yeah, but apart from that, I think it was okay for a run. Like, apart from those 2 splits you already mentioned yourself, nothing too special, nothing too crazy happened. Everything was kind of okay. Rather far away from gold most of the time, but it's fine. I didn't die, I didn't mess anything up too badly, and as I knew I was in the lead, I could take these small time losses and just make sure I don't die or no disasters happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I think looking at that Turtle Rock split, you had a chance to gold it until you went for the hover.
I might have. Let me check my goals. Yeah.
Did you do a single bomb jump, or did you just hover everything?
I don't think I did a bomb jump. Yeah. yeah, I don't remember doing a bomb jump in this one. Unfortunately, not every hover went quite right. Like the pod right side things. But I think it was fine, mostly. Also, I've been using a new controller for this run, so but it's brand new, so I didn't think I would have any issues hovering. Yeah. In Turtle Rock also, when I went for the TR hover, for some reason I slashed upwards, which doesn't actually increase your speed. You have to slash sideways, or I think down is even also okay, but for some reason I messed that up, so of course I intentionally fell now. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you go for that because you were listening to the restream?
Yeah.
And you, okay.
Like, I probably wouldn't have done the sword out if Dao didn't mention that earlier. But and yeah, it was fine. Yeah. Like, I'm happy with this run given the circumstances. So I knew at what level I had to perform for the rest of the run and just not mess up anymore. After I've seen I've had the good lead from the light world on. So yeah. And also we had lots of fun along the way. I think there were a couple of small derps like in Swamp where I just thought I already got the big key and just went to grab the big chest, the hookshot out of there, or mirroring before I grabbed the Quake medallion and stuff like that. But it was fine in the end.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Sorry, we're a little what's the word I'm looking for? Spooked, I guess, by this Ganon fight on Contos' side. It's
little concerned on some of it. I know Tanwir, I think you gave us a little bit of concern on a couple of splits, just being really close to a couple of things. There were a couple of moments in this race that made us go, phew, when they were done, for sure.
But yeah, so looks like you're gonna get to play the loser of Negazus versus Chimo, which I don't know when their race is scheduled for just yet, and GG's to Contos.
GG Contos.
GG's.
I think. Can I read? Yeah, that's right. Get to play the loser of that match. I don't know if you're planning on playing it any differently or doing the same, or you're nervous about that at all.
I will probably have to step up my game. I'd expect. Was that Chimo also in that matchup you mentioned?
Yeah. Chimo or Negazus.
Oh, well, I played Chimo in the last small little the Germage NMG tourney that happened last year, and well, I was beaten quite bad, so I will definitely have to be a little faster to get past that matchup, I assume. So I will have to do better than this, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, well, in that case, GG to our both runners, TanwirFarid, who actually even won, and Contos. You had a great race, and also thank you to our lovely commentators, TMB and Twin Mommy. Thanks a lot for helping with this restream here on Zelda Speedruns.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for doing the restream.
Yay! Well, if you are still hungry for more Zelda Speedruns restreams, we probably have a few things coming up. We actually have the A Link to the Past, No Major Glitches, Losers Bracket, Coxla versus NY Rambler. And a few hours later, we have Zelda 2 Randomizer Max Rando. So far for the things we have today. Oh, and there's also another two more Link to the Past NMG races. The question is if we can restore all of this. I don't know yet. But anyway, there's a lot of things you can watch on Zelda Speedruns if you really want to today. We're probably... okay, the other Zelda Speedruns channel isn't live currently, so we will have to grab another stream for a quick raid. And I actually am not really familiar with the LTTP community. So that will be something.
Let's see.
Oh, actually, we could actually go to NY Rambler because he is doing the tourney race right now. It's just not restreamed.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
That seems like a great idea. Okay, then in that case, if you guys want to say something before I end the stream, now's your chance.
No, yeah, just thanks for having us. Always a good time.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Okay, thank you. Then we are going to raid NY Rambler. Have a great day and see you next time here on Zelda Speedruns.